Well, Dr. Prather, we're talking about the number five killer, chronic lower respiratory disease, both for men and women. Let's talk about the role infections pose for developing, um, and we'll call it CLRD.
Yeah, it's easier
This
to
it's
say.
easier
I
to
like that.
say.
Yeah. So when you're talking about infections, you're talking about of what we know that kind of hits the lungs. It's
Hmm.
about 100 different infections,
Wow,
and
100.
right. So the
Hmm.
most common is actually viral, but
Hmm.
we also have fungal, and then we have bacterial.
Hmm.
Now, interestingly enough, usually the viral hits first or the fungal hits first because they're easier to catch, and then you weaken the immune system, and then the bacterial hits, and that's when you have the pneumonia and you're in trouble.
Hmm.
But usually the viral and the fungal hits first. And an interesting thing here in Indianapolis is histoplasmosis.
Hmm.
So a lot of people haven't heard about histoplasmosis. I actually did a whole song on that. And Johnny Cash did a song on histoplasmosis. And everybody was
You
thought
did
that
a
was his.
song?
No, Johnny Cash.
You said okay.
Johnny Cash
Just
did
did
a
a
song.
song.
Nobody wants to listen to me sing. That would be
So,
awful. Johnny
oh, you
Cash is.
did a talk on it.
I did a talk on it. Not that I came up with the song on
You said
histoplasmosis.
you. We're gonna play this back because you said you did a song.
Okay. All right. I did a show on it.
Oh, a show. Okay.
Remember we did the
Yes.
histoplasmosis one? Okay,
Okay.
you remember. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that Alzheimer's wasn't so.
That's the number six killer.
That's the number six killer, so we're going to get there. So histoplasmosis, Indianapolis was built on a swamp,
Mhm. I
and
believe it.
yes, and which made it very excellent farmland.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it got settled. But they drained it. But it was also
They drained the swamp.
they drained the swamp. Sounds like Trump here. So they drained the swamp. It actually can be done, and but it was a stopover for migratory birds way back when. So and the bird poop is actually where histoplasmosis. So whenever you dig around here, you're kicking up histoplasmosis. Matter of
Mm.
fact, Indianapolis is very famous for, I believe, two pandemics of histoplasmosis. So it's kind of studied whenever you're doing fungal infections.
Hmm.
Indianapolis comes up. Everybody internationally actually studies it.
Fungal infections.
Fungal infections,
Hmm.
Indianapolis. And Indianapolis is known as the histoplasmosis capital of the world. So everybody
I don't
gets
think they're going to
histoplasmosis.
advertise
I don't think
that.
they should put that on the sign. But if
But something to be aware of.
it's something
Yeah.
to be aware of. So we oftentimes we send out for checks X-rays, and comes back the report. Yeah, and there's calcification in the lower lungs due to histoplasmosis.
Hmm.
So what the body does when you get histoplasmosis, which is almost everybody, if you live in Indianapolis, you're going to have a bout of histoplasmosis.
Hmm.
Just part of living here.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. But what the body usually does, because it doesn't really deal with it very well, it just calcifies. So it'll go in there and calcify the alveoli and the bronchi in that area. So you see little pockets of calcium deposit. And they say
Mm.
it's a histoplasmosis, calcium deposits.
You are talking so fast for me.
Isn't that? I'm getting excited here. I'm getting excited because
Okay.
you hear about disease. I get excited about diseases, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Now
histoplasm.
people are wondering
What?
from Indianapolis if they have histoplasmosis.
Well, they should. Actually,
Yeah.
it's very common. And
Yeah.
so that's one of the things, and it always settles in the lower lungs.
Hmm.
So that is one of the infections. If it gets bad, then you can get a secondary bacterial infection and get some pneumonia. So that's a very common thing that occurs. And histoplasmosis hits the lungs first, but then it can go up to the eyes. It's the leading cause of blindness
Mm.
in Indiana.
Hmm.
And also, it can go down to the kidneys and destroy the kidneys. So a
So they got to
very
take it
you
seriously.
got to take it seriously, and there's not really a very good treatment. Usually what they're trying to do is just keep the secondary bacterial infection from occurring.
Mm. But naturally.
Naturally, we're very good with that. So
Hmm.
oregano oil is the strongest antifungal, so
Mm.
taking that
Oregano oil. Yeah.
is excellent.
Hmm.
There's also wild bear garlic is another thing that we give. we give fungals, and then we make nosodes for the histoplasmosis. We actually do really well. We actually do better than the pharmaceuticals
Mm.
as far as getting
Mhm.
that under control. So histoplasmosis is like one of the fungals that occur. The viruses, the most common viruses that occur that cause CLRD is adenovirus is number one. The influenza and parainfluenzas, and then RSV, respiratory syncytial virus.
Mm.
So those are the most common ones that can actually hit that. But of course, when we had the whole COVID type of thing, there was a huge amount of lower respiratory damage that occurred.
Mhm.
So a lot of people, one of the things we're thinking is later on, CLRD might actually even get higher because then you've got a lot of lung damage that occurred because of that.
Mm.
So keeping the infections under control is an important type of thing. And so you got to look out for the fungals.
Mhm.
There's more than histo, but that's the most common one here. And then also for the viruses. Keep the viruses under control. Usually they should be just upper respiratory, but if they go into lower because of nutritional deficiencies, which is one thing we have to talk about, usually that occurs.
Mhm.
You've weakened your system, you're tired. In other words, the body tries to keep it upper respiratory. That's acute. The body can take care of it. Drops down into the lower lungs, you're in trouble.
Mm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And the fewer, and of course, asthma. And if you're not breathing
Mhm.
down lower, you don't have the oxygenation in there. You don't have the blood supply, and things have kind of get dead because they haven't been used.
Mm.
And so it's easier for once, if you're not breathing deep, it's easier to get infections down in there that the body doesn't handle.
Mhm. I'm working on my deep breathing right now.
I know it's kind of like, how am I
Yeah.
doing? Everybody's
Mhm.
kind of wondering about that. Am I taking care of myself?
Right.
So
Taking care of
looking
the
at all
lungs.
that.
Um, let's talk about mucus. Not a wonderful thing to talk about, but why is mucus accumulation in the lungs a problem?
Well, it's a breeding ground for germs.
Mm.
So it makes it much easier for fungus and viruses to hide
Mhm.
and keep from getting found. And then it also breeds bacteria.
Mhm.
Now, the mucus can be a protector, but if it's overdone and the body's not moving it. So, what you're supposed to do with mucus is like if there's some infection down there, you make some mucus, and then the body uses a cilia in the lungs and
Mhm.
moves the mucus out and gets rid of it. And that's when you have cough and you're bringing up stuff, and it's like, oh, this is disgusting.
Mhm.
Let me take a cough suppressant. And what that cough suppressant does is it causes the cilia not to move anymore, to move it out.
Mm. Mhm.
And so
So it's
then it
good to move it out.
stays down in there. So
Mhm.
that's the pharmaceutical answer. What what we do is we give stimulants to get the cilia so it actually gets rid of it. And then it
Mhm.
clears up the cough much quicker. And it actually gets the mucus out of there.
That's what we do naturally.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Spongiatosta,
Mhm.
Lobelia inflata, all those types of things, Mullen, are
Those are
very,
going out the
yeah,
window right now. Yeah.
those are the things that gets everything moving so
Mhm.
that the body, it actually works as the body should. So it makes it work better and you actually get over the cough and it doesn't become. So one of the things that can be a real problem is if you're taking a cough suppressant because I've got a cough, because I know I've got some mucus in here. Oh, I don't, you Mucinex and all those types of things.
Yeah.
And it actually then you don't get rid of it, it just kind of stays in there. And then the mucus accumulates.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Interesting. So let's talk about hyaluronic acid and why it's helpful for lung health.
Hyaluronic acid, one of my favorite things. I've seen so much improvement. So the lungs, if you're looking at the inflation of the alveoli,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a bubble in there. It's the hyaluronic acid that makes it bubble up.
Mm.
So if you're low on hyaluronic acid, because as you get older, you don't produce hyaluronic acid to the same extent. It's also what goes into knees. It's
Mm.
kind of the lubricant in the joints.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people kind of crack
Mm-hmm.
As they go up and down. Well, that's lack of the hyaluronic acid.
Mm,
Hyaluronic acid gets low in your lungs, and then the air bubbles kind of go collapse,
mm,
and then you start to accumulate problems. So getting the hyaluronic acid is one of the critical things that you should take in to reinflate your lungs. Then the body has, as you're doing it, also your joints feel a lot better.
mm-hmm.
So it's
Interesting.
very
And how
important
do
for
you
the
test
lungs.
for that? I know we're going to talk about diagnostics
Yeah, it's something
next
that
time, but
basically, if you got lung problems, I
mm-hmm,
pretty much do, and people feel better.
mm-hmm. So that's hyaluronic acid.
Hyaluronic acid.
Wonderful. Okay, when we come back, more on treatment for CLRD. We'll be right back.